In a world where you can book a flight in seconds from your phone or live stream from the edge of a volcano, it's easy to forget that some corners of this planet are still practically untouchable. And in today's Setit's video, we tour looking at 15 impossible to reach places on Earth, starting with number 15, Mount Roraima. Where the borders of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana tangle in thick rainforest, Mount Roraima rises like a monolith straight out of prehistoric fiction. We mean, like, seriously. This ancient tabletop mountain, believed to be over 2 billion years old, is surrounded by vertical cliffs and crowned with a cloud-draped summit. No road leads here. Reaching the top requires a multi-day trek through swamp and jungle, followed by a climb up rock faces that sheer off into the sky. Its summit is a broken landscape of bizarre rock formations, black stone crevices, and plant life that exists nowhere else on Earth. Pools of rainwater dot the surface, forming patterns only visible from satellite imagery. The place feels alien, surreal, and untouched. Early explorers described it as a world suspended above the rest of Earth, and it still feels that way. From a bird's-eye view, Roraima looks like a floating island carved from ancient rock, rising above the forest like it's holding onto secrets. It's not unreachable by accident. It was built to remain alone. Number 14, the Rinconada. At over 16,700 feet above sea level, La Rinconada isn't just high, it's the highest permanent settlement on Earth. Perched in the Peruvian Andes, the city exists in a thin-aired twilight zone where oxygen is scarce. Temperatures remain near freezing, and infrastructure struggles to keep up with human needs. Yet more than 30,000 people live here, most drawn not by beauty or peace, but by gold. La Rinconada runs on a brutal labor system known as the cachorio, where miners work for 30 days unpaid, gambling everything on what they can extract on the 31st. Water is polluted, roads are muddy scars through mountains, electricity flickers, sanitation is an afterthought. Still, people raise families here, attend church, and hope for that rare golden payday. Safety protocols are minimal, and every descent into the mines is a risk many cannot afford not to take. From above, the city clings to the mountainside like a metallic scab, a patchwork of tin and ambition frozen in place by altitude, desperation, and stubborn hope. Number 13, the Bouvet Island. Bouvet Island isn't a place you visit, it's a place you study from a distance and maybe try to land on if the sea and sky let you. Owned by Norway but nowhere near anything Norwegian, this icy volcanic island lies halfway between South Africa and Antarctica, surrounded by some of the most unforgiving waters on the planet. Roughly 93% of it is buried beneath a glacier, with cliffs hemming in its frozen terrain. The only semi-accessible landing point is a narrow rocky beach on the west coast, and even that's often made unreachable by weather that changes without warning. No humans live here permanently. No ports exist. Occasionally, research vessels or government missions make landfall if they're lucky. The island briefly caught global attention in 2018 when a lifeboat was discovered on its shore with no crew in sight, fueling wild theories and colder mysteries. From space, Bouvet is a jagged white smear surrounded by a navy void. It feels less like a place and more like a glitch on Earth's surface. If you don't love life, you'll love this place. Number 12. Amundsen-Scott South Pole Station. At the very bottom of the planet, in a place so extreme that the sun doesn't rise for months, the Amundsen-Scott South Pole Station sits like a defiant outpost in a frozen nowhere. Here in this place, temperatures can fall below -70 Celsius. The surrounding ice sheet is nearly 2 miles thick. There are no permanent roads, no neighbors, and the nearest civilization is thousands of kilometers away. Built by the United States, the station operates during a narrow summer window when supplies are flown in by ski-equipped LC-130 aircraft. For the rest of the year, it becomes a sealed-off bubble of research and survival. Astronomers study cosmic radiation. Glaciologists track the slow breathing of the ice beneath their feet. Communication depends on satellites that drift in and out of range. Outside, there's only snow, sky, and silence. From the air, the station looks like a mechanical insect frozen in motion, tubes and modules forming a web in an endless white void. It's not just isolated, it's almost off-world, and you just can't visit it. Number 11, Kerguelen Islands. In a wind-lashed corner of the southern Indian Ocean, over 2,000 miles from the nearest continent, lies the Kerguelen Archipelago, aka the Desolation Islands. No one was meant to live here, and no one does. There's no airport, no commercial routes, and no native population. The only access is aboard the Marion Dufresne, a research and supply vessel that visits 4 times a year. But in the emptiness lies life. Seals, penguins, and albatross crowd the coasts. Inland, mosses and lichens crawl across volcanic rock, and the strange, leathery Kerguelen cabbage still thrives, once a sailor's shield against scurvy. The French maintain a research station with labs, satellite communications, and even a chapel, but it's a rotating cast of scientists, not residents. Harsh winds, freezing rain, and relentless isolation dominate. From above, the islands appear jagged and scattered, their snow-dusted peaks jutting from dark water. Kerguelen isn't just remote, it's otherworldly, carved by glaciers and time, whispering back to no one. Number 10. Ittoqqortoormiit. Eastern Greenland is one of the last places on Earth where the line between survival and disappearance is drawn in ice. Tucked along its icy coastline is Ittoqqortoormiit, a town whose name few outsiders can say, and even fewer will ever see. There are no roads connecting it to the rest of the world, and during most of the year, sea ice locks in the coast, sealing the town off entirely. The nearest airport is 40 kilometers away and only accessible in good weather. In winter, the wind cuts through the air like sharpened glass, and the landscape turns so white and silent that it feels like you're standing inside a snow globe. Dog sleds remain the most reliable form of transport during the colder months. The town sits beside the Scoresby Sund, the world's longest fjord system, framed by towering cliffs and glacier-fed waters. From the sky, it is barely visible, just a cluster of colorful homes clinging to the edge of one of Earth's coldest, most unforgiving frontiers. Number 9. Socotra. Floating in the Arabian Sea. Far off the coast of Yemen, Socotra looks less like a tropical island and more like a chunk of another planet that crash-landed into the ocean. Isolated for millions of years, its ecosystem evolved in ways found nowhere else. Nearly 40% of its plant species are endemic, including the otherworldly dragon's blood tree, a twisted, umbrella-like giant that bleeds a crimson resin once used in ancient rituals. Socotra's terrain is surreal, bone-dry ridges broken by freshwater springs and hidden green valleys that echo with birdsong. Few roads cut through this ancient land. Human settlements are sparse, often no more than clusters of stone huts tied to goat herding and fishing traditions. Many locals still speak Socotra, a language with no written script and roots stretching back to pre-Islamic times. From above, Socotra appears as a crooked green wing drifting in turquoise water, barely tethered to the modern world. It remains more biosphere than island, untamed, unexplained, and defiantly unchanged. Number 8. Pitcairn Island. In the middle of the South Pacific, thousands of kilometers from any key country, sits a volcanic island that feels more like a ghost of history than a modern settlement. Pitcairn Island is one of the most remote inhabited places on Earth. It was first settled in 1790 by British mutineers from the HMS Bounty, along with a few Tahitian companions, hoping to disappear forever. Today, fewer than 50 people live here, many of them direct descendants of those original outlaws. There's no airstrip, no harbor, and no easy route in. The only way to reach the island involves a flight to Tahiti, another to Mangareva in French Polynesia, and then a 30-hour boat ride across the open sea. Even then, vessels must anchor offshore, while passengers are ferried in by longboat, navigating dangerous reef-strewn waters. Life on Pitcairn is communal and stripped down. Electricity arrived in 2002. There's one school, one church, and no supermarket. From above, it looks like a forgotten fingerprint on the ocean, quiet, stubborn, and entirely its own world. Number 7. Mount Erebus. On the ice-covered edge of Ross Island stands Mount Erebus, Antarctica's southernmost active volcano and one of the most remote on Earth. Towering over 12,400 feet, it defies every idea of what a volcano should be. Its summit cradles one of the planet's few permanent lava lakes, glowing silently in sub-zero air. Reaching it means navigating a frozen desert where temperatures plunge below -50 degrees Celsius and daylight vanishes for months. There are no trails, no easy routes. The nearest human presence is McMurdo Station, 35 kilometers away, and even that feels distant. Seasonal research teams set up temporary labs near the summit, studying the lava, the unique gases it emits, and the strange microbes that thrive in its icy vents. Ice towers, frozen gas chimneys, dot the upper slopes like bizarre white spires. From orbit, satellite images show a single glowing wound in Antarctica's white canvas. It's a place where silence meets eruption, where fire breathes beneath ice, and where Earth reminds us it's still very much alive. Number 6. McMurdo Dry Valleys. In a continent smothered in ice, the McMurdo Dry Valleys in Antarctica are a staggering contradiction. No snow, no ice sheets, no fresh footprints. Stretching over 4,800 square kilometers, this ancient landscape hasn't seen rain for nearly 2 million years. Strong katabatic winds roll down from the surrounding mountains, so dry and fast they evaporate moisture before it ever settles. What's left behind is a Martian panorama, cracked lake beds, barren rock, salt flats, and glacial dust. Hidden among this dry chaos are hypersaline lakes like Lake Vanda, which remain unfrozen year-round due to extreme salinity. These lakes contain strange layered chemistries and microbial life that survive without sunlight, making them ideal sites for astrobiological research. There's no permanent habitation. Temporary field camps host small groups of scientists, each item flown in and flown back out per strict Antarctic protocols. From above, the valleys cut a brown, desolate streak across the endless white, like Earth peeled back its frozen skin and exposed something older, deeper, and oddly alive. Number 5. Medog County. For centuries, Medog was a name whispered in Tibetan folklore, a sacred valley sealed off by mountains, clouds, and myth. Located in the southeastern corner of Tibet, Medog County remained untouched by roadways until well into the 21st century. Before that, access involved trekking for days along narrow trails, crossing rope bridges above raging rivers, and inching across cliffside footpaths worn smooth by generations of footsteps. The Monpi people who live here hold deep spiritual ties to the land. They believe Medog is the gateway to a hidden paradise known as Pema, or the Hidden Lotus. Their lives revolve around subsistence farming, yak herding, and a rhythm untouched by modern speed. Thick jungles give way to snowy peaks, and rare animals like snow leopards, red pandas, and golden langurs still wander freely. From the air, Medog doesn't announce itself. It fades into the mist and forest, concealed beneath cloud cover and jagged ridgelines. A place not forgotten, but deliberately protected by time, terrain, and belief. Number 4. Surtsey. On a stormy November day in 1963, the Atlantic Ocean erupted. From beneath the waves, fire and ash forced their way skyward, birthing Surtsey, a raw, black island off Iceland's southern coast. Over 4 years, lava hardened and waves sculpted until it rose 155 meters above sea level. Today, it stands not just as one of Earth's youngest land masses, but as a sealed natural laboratory. Only scientists are allowed to step on it, and even they undergo strict protocols. No foreign seeds, no soil from shoes, no food waste. The goal: watch nature take its first steps without us. Bacteria came first, then mosses, then seabirds nesting and reshaping the soil. By the 1980s, plants began to spread. Puffins arrived, insects followed, and 60 plant species now cling to its soil. From above, Surtsey looks like a black ember frozen in blue. No roads, no buildings, just geology in motion, life unfolding in real time. It is Earth's rarest classroom, where life reboots without interruption. Number 3. The Tristan da Cunha. Surrounded by nothing but ocean for over 1,500 miles in every direction, Tristan da Cunha is more than remote, it's isolation perfected. Located in the South Atlantic and home to fewer than 300 residents, the island is reachable only by a 6-day boat journey from South Africa, often dependent on weather and timing. There are no airports, no commercial routes, no real way out quickly. Residents live in a small village called Edinburgh of the Seven Seas, where surnames overlap and everyone is somehow connected. Life here revolves around community survival, subsistence farming, fishing, and shared duties. There's one school, one hospital, and a pub that stands like a lighthouse of normalcy. Internet is unreliable, and medical evacuations when needed depend on weeks-long logistics. From above, the island looks like a lone emerald in an endless blue field, with Queen Mary's Peak towering silently at its center. It's not just a place, it's a compact, self-contained world that exists entirely on its own terms. Number 2. Vale do Javari. Deep in the western Amazon, where the green stretches beyond the horizon and roads have no meaning, lies the Vale do Javari, a protected reserve home to the world's highest concentration of uncontacted tribes. Over 20 isolated groups live here, surviving in ways that haven't changed for centuries. They've chosen this solitude, not out of mystery, but survival. History has taught them that contact brings disease, exploitation, and often, death. The Brazilian government enforces strict no-contact laws, using satellite monitoring and flyovers to track illegal activity from afar. Logging, mining, and poaching remain constant threats, but for now, this dense jungle holds. The people within hunt, gather, and farm, using knowledge passed down through generations, untouched by modern language or currency. From above, the reserve is a carpet of uninterrupted green, broken only by the occasional clearing or a thin, winding river. No city noise, no footprint of sprawl, just the soft pulse of a culture untouched, clinging to its last breath of silence. Number 1. Oymyakon. Winter is not a season in Oymyakon, it's the permanent backdrop. Located deep in northeastern Siberia, this tiny Russian village holds the record for the lowest temperature ever recorded outside Antarctica, -67.7 Celsius. The ground is permafrost. Pipes are useless. Cars are left running all day just to prevent the engines from freezing solid. There are fewer than 1,000 residents, most of them Yakut, a native people who've survived this climate for generations by adapting their entire way of life around the cold. Heat comes from wood and coal. Water is hauled in buckets. Cell service flickers. Deliveries take weeks. Tourism exists, but only for those looking to brag that they've survived a place where even the air feels heavy. A sign in the village marks it as the Pole of Cold, as if claiming the title was a point of pride. Seen from above, Oymyakon is a pocket of smoke and rooftops clinging to a frozen valley, a settlement so stubborn it chose to endure the impossible. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you very soon.